Right, hello. I am redoing this video because in the past 24 hours there have been a few changes that have made the build complete in my opinion. So if you've seen the original video and you're seeing this, well, that one's going to be gone, and it doesn't matter, I'm going to be covering the same stuff anyway. So my plans for Bone Storm in point 5 are literally mostly the same. If you've read the patch notes, then you'd know that the Vertex Tribal Mask is losing its 3 levels to all skills, and then the Seed of Cataclysm is losing its affix to provide increased critical spell damage bonus, which is why we were running it in the first place. So to replace the mask, we are now running Crown of the Victor because it provides 1 level to all skills and therefore makes the loss of the Vertex mask less punishing. So if we look at Bone Storm now, that puts that look, level 38. It is still very functional. I've done a lot of testing with it. You will one-shot most of the pinnacles and then two-shot the ones with the larger health pools. And look, 1 to 2 shots, I'm still proud of that. I think that's still really good. And even in the new league, I don't even think Uber Arbiter is going to be a thing. So yeah, I think you're going to be in a really good spot if you want to farm those bosses for those fights and all of the rewards to come. But the journey here now is to get those last 2 levels for Bone Storm to be level 40, and that is through sanctification. So I have, and I say this gleefully, I've managed to successfully sanctify +8 to level of all physical spell skills, and then +4 level to all spell skills. So we're now back at the 40, so I'm very pleased. This was first time for the staff, so I was very happy. I thought, you know what, the amulet might follow the same steps. However, no, this took 9 attempts. So my point is that the cost of it overall added up really quickly. So in point 5, I would just bear in mind that, and I looked this up on Reddit, people are theorizing that the chances for successful sanctification is 1 in 12. So if you are considering sanctifying your items, just bear in mind those are your odds. If you have enough money, then shouldn't be a problem. But look, if you're like me, I get broke really quickly, then yeah, just save up your money, take it slowly, don't sanctify the items that you're currently using in case you brick them, and then, you know, rinse and repeat until you get what you need. But yeah, you don't have to run it at level 40. I'll take you through that in a minute. But I want to start with Seed of Cataclysm. Now, how do we get around this? So losing critical damage bonus, that's obviously a big loss for us. So to make up for it, I'm now running the Sekhema's Resolve. So there will be 3 versions of this ring with 3 new names. The one we care about is called the Eshtera's Ring. I'll link the original name in the bio so you can see the correct spelling. I'm probably not even pronouncing it right either, so it's probably better if you read it. But the reason we want it is because we can now socket a sapphire jewel, and more importantly, we can get 2 critical damage modifiers onto this jewel. So we've got critical damage bonus and critical spell damage bonus. Currently both roll to a maximum of 20, but coming to the game is a new catalyst that will allow you to increase caster modifiers on jewels. So I am theorizing that critical spell damage bonus could go up to level 45, also well 25% on the jewel itself as an individual affix. But if you combine the two, that will be 45%, and that's only 5% lower than what the Seed of Cataclysm was providing us. Now granted, we are losing critical hit chance, which is very nice, but there are new ways to be able to scale this with new items. So again, this build still in a good place, but a little bit more expensive if you want to get it to the highest operating model. Now the new unique coming to the game is called the Voices. It's a unique jewel that grants additional jewel sockets, and these additional jewel sockets will go here on your tree, so literally right next to your ascendancy on the passive skill tree. Now you get between 2 to 4. Let's say we get 3 additional jewel sockets, we could literally socket a sapphire jewel in each of them, and just like the critical spell damage bonus, there is the same situation for critical hit chance. So you can get critical hit chance by itself, and then on the same jewel also get critical hit chance for spells, and those roll to a maximum of 15% each. So in the example I gave, if we have 3 jewel sockets and 3 jewels with both critical hit chances on each of the jewels at max modifiers, oh yeah, and I didn't even realize, yeah, and we can even increase it further with the new catalyst that I mentioned before. We could get back that 100% increased critical hit chance that we got from the Seed of Cataclysm. So we are still in a good place. Obviously I would still prefer that this ring was not nerfed and we can just continue to use it, but look, we move forward and we found new ways to keep it going. So I'm actually okay with that. It's not the biggest loss in the world. But the rest of the gear, I'll quickly touch through. It's all the same now. So Calandra's Touch, we need that to mirror the other ring. So we'll juice up this ring as much as possible. You need a Sacrificial Regalia because of the implicit. So +1 to level of all of Corrupted Skill Gems, and Bone Storm will be that. Night Scale Gloves, we need the mana regen from these gloves. We always critically hit. So getting a base value of 150% is absolutely massive for us. Obviously, if you can, keep buying more pairs of this gloves and then corrupt them so that you get, you know, above the 150. 183 is the max. I got 182 here, so I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, 150 by itself as the base value is still very, very good. And then of course, Coward's Legacy. So Coward's Legacy, again, I'll just quickly touch it. We just want to be considered low life. So we're using life as part of our cost for Bone Storm to bring us down below the threshold, so we can use Pain Attunement and then Execute 3. These are huge damage modifiers. I've covered it in my last video, but just sort of make a note now. And then the last one is the boot. I will say in 0.5, I will be getting a much better pair of boots. So I want something with much higher ES, still high elemental resistances, and then movement speed. I'm happy with 30, but if you're a stickler and you really want 35%, then by all means go for it. But that's pretty much all of it. The only last mandatory, because these are very much up for grabs, whatever you want to do, is the Gargantuan Mana Flask. I did check, this is still in the game. I would say this is mandatory just because it helps with the cost of Bone Storm. You are just passively regenerating mana through it. So the way I see it is that it's reducing Bone Storm's cost. But it's however you want to see it. But it's doing the same thing essentially. And then I guess skills. I think we can just very quickly touch skills. So for mapping, everything is the exact same. I'm just using Entangled. The only change now is I'm added Mana Flare. Because we're always critically hitting, it triggers Mana Flare. Mana Flare is basically just a fiery explosion that scales off of our current mana. And because of our high regen from Night Scale, we're always at max mana, so the damage that the fiery explosion does is pretty high. It's just very good for clear, good in like large packs of mobs, especially because Entangle hits multiple mobs at once. So when it critically hits, yeah, boom, you just see a lot of fire everywhere, and it's quite pleasing actually, quite satisfying. And then for bossing, I guess I'll split it into two. So with bossing, again, if you don't have level 40, if you're at level 38, absolutely fine. Even level 37 will function very well. The only thing you'll want to do if you really want to one-shot or two-shot all the pinnacles is run Mana Tempest as part of the rotation. So it says gain 92% damage as extra lightning damage. However, because I've got it on weapon set 2 and my chiming staff has +7 to all lightning spell skills, this is 104% now. So it is quite a big increase. If you can scale it more, keep doing so. But yeah, you want to run this. So the new rotation will be Sigil of Power, Thunderstorm, Entangle, Mana Tempest, and then leave the Mana Tempest, cast Bone Storm, and boom, one-shot kill. Definitely do not stay in the Mana Tempest. So like if I just cast Bone Storm for a short while, you'll see that my health is just going to continually go down until you're literally not 1 HP, but 1 shot. Look, 4 health out the maximum there. So you really don't want to stay in it. You just want to cast it, and then when you're casting Bone Storm, move out of the cloud, and that way you still keep the power for I think 4 seconds, something like that. Where does it say? Yeah, but 4. Oh no, that's additional targets. I think it's 4 seconds, something like that. It says something. Yeah, there you go. Effects of Mana Tempest linger for 4 seconds. So after you leave the cloud, then you don't get the health penalty basically from there. But yeah, when you get to level 40, you don't need Mana Tempest anymore. However, if you want to keep, I don't know, if you want to feel more secure that the damage is still there, then by all means run it. But you don't need it. I've proved it through 0.4 over and over again. Like you just don't need it, I promise. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to really raise. I mean, 4.5, I am going to stream the league start. I'm really looking forward to it. If you have any questions, you can find me there, or you can just shoot them in the comments. I always reply. And if you have any suggestions, those are very welcome as well. I'm always looking for new ways to try the build. There's currently spell totems on my list. So one of you kindly refer me to that, so I'm looking into how that works, and If I think it's better, then I'll definitely employ it. If not, I'll just be honest and say it's not working. But anyway, thank you very much. I'll see you in 0.5. Bye.